The Spurs have gone 3 of 7 from the field since we've gotten underway. Stolen by Harden. Goes up. Hammers it down off the coast-to-coast break.
That is up-tempo basketball at its best. So much easier to operate in the open court when a steal triggers the break.
And really, basketball is about rhythm, and that allows your offense to flow better. Now let's see if they can build on it and keep this lead.
And let's take this break to recognize some of the league's small forwards that have been on fire at the charity stripe for all of the past month. Second is Kawhi Leonard.
And there are some smooth strokes among that group, guys. I mean, just effortless perfection when they are at the stripe.
And I think that allows them to be really ultra-aggressive driving the lane, which is exactly what a coach wants in a small forward. I mean, get to the cup for a layup or get to the line for surefire free throws.
And the Rockets making a change here. Brewers checked in. He hits both from the stripe.
Boy, I tell you what, he does not look like your typical big man up there at the line. He has an excellent stroke and a percentage to match.
It's Howard with the drive, and Tim Duncan gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game.
It's close, but, you know, didn't get on balance quick enough.
Yeah, and as quick as players are at this level, in this day and age, I mean, you've got to be perfect in your anticipation to draw the charge.
Duncan knocks it loose. And here comes Leonard leading the fast break. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
And it's just hard to imagine the Spurs without Coach Popovich on the sidelines. He's the longest tenured coach in the NBA and has done so much for this team. Easily one of the best coaches in the history of our league.
And Greg, you know, for Popovich being with the Spurs for so long, since 1996, Clark, he is actually the longest tenured coach in all of sports right now.
Amazing, Kevin, and he's done it through winning. I mean, the 3rd fastest coach ever to get to 1,000 wins. You compare his numbers with any coach in any sport, and they stack up as Hall of Fame caliber. You know, you take a look at this group of Spurs, and you wonder if they've peaked. I mean, it seems you say that a lot with this team, and they prove you wrong. What Popovich said last year, he feels it might actually be the case.
You know, one thing about this San Antonio team, they just didn't go away last year. Pop himself said he felt they peaked in the 2014 finals.
You know, and you wonder if what Pop said is true. Spurs lost in the first round last year, and they'll be going through a lot of changes in the near future. And with the way they run that organization, they'll still be competing, I believe, for quite some time.
And both free throws good for Howard. But Dwight Howard had that back surgery, and he's had knee trouble, and he is no longer quite as dominant, Clark, as the player we saw back in certainly his younger days in Orlando.
Yeah, but nonetheless, Kevin, he's still in the conversation for best centers in the NBA. I think he remains a superstar big man when he's healthy.
And Duncan gets it to go in.
The entire defense was frozen-footed. Nobody picked up the shooter, Kevin.
Everly with the ball. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. The Rockets again can't hit.
And you remember back in Orlando, Dwight Howard, a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, not to mention a slam dunk title. He's lost some of that lift, but still has more than just about any other center in our league.
Now Leonard. Trevor Ariza missing from long range. Clock at 4. Parker outside. It's hauled in by Beverly. The Rockets have gone just a shade under 50% from the field. 5 of 11. The dish now to Brewer. Howard setting the pick for Brewer. Takes a big height bounce and goes in.
And Howard missing a lot of time last season with various knee issues. He's taken his training and conditioning regimen to a new level, it looks like, to kind of preserve his body for the long haul. And Corey Brewer, guys, out of Florida, remember won those 2 national championships, teaming up with Joakim Noah and Al Horford. Terrific quickness, and that rangy frame makes him a disruptive defender. Great versatility as well on that end of the floor. checking out the stats for Beverly. How's the last month of basketball been for him? He's averaging 10 points a game, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. And you look at those numbers, not bad, but guys, I think he can do better, and he knows it.
And he has high expectations for himself as well, guys, but he just hasn't delivered fully on his potential yet.
Ty Lawson, he's checked in for Patrick Beverly. Parker kicks to Duncan. Feeds to Aldridge. Shot, high post. It's rebounded by Lawson. Clark, Corey Brewer was the 7th pick in the 2007 draft. He's never really reached that star caliber so many had predicted.
Yeah, you know, his offense has held him back a bit. He's a bit erratic at that end of the floor. Not a great shooter. Slashes effectively well. He's most effective in transition.
Indeed.
That's a precision shot. You've got to be precise. No room for error on the floater.
Lawson kicks to Brewer. Launches a 3. Green with the rebound. San Antonio leading. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
A short time ago, I had a chance to catch up with Greg Popovich. They are going up against arguably the toughest center the NBA has to offer in Dwight Howard. One problem that Howard poses is his ability to send shots away on the defensive end. He told his players to be fearless and not think twice about taking shots, saying, a lot of the D Howard plays is mental. He just has shooters second-guessing. He might have them third-guessing, guys.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. There's a screen by Modi Eunice. Harden. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. When you think of James Harden, you don't think much about his athleticism. His strength, though, is exceptional for his position.
Yeah, I think that's his greatest attribute. His ball handling's good, but it's his strength. He's able to run through contact.
And Harden able to get wherever he wants on the court. I mean, he can muscle you, but he's also got that Euro step and all those moves that just leave you in a dizzy.
Boris Diaz checked in for the Spurs. Mills comes in for Parker.
You know, and Harden, you think about how elusive he is, but at the same time, he's a guy that seeks contact. I mean, he'll entice a defender to try and reach in, and a master salesman when it comes to getting those refs to blow the whistle.
Now here's Leonard. He had 19 points in the win against the Timberwolves in Minneapolis.
And don't forget about his work on the glass. I mean, he contributed in a number of ways.
Here is Brewer. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
One thing about Corey Brewer, he's a defensive specialist, has a combination of size and quickness. It's real hard to score against. I mean, equally good at defending in the half court or transition.
And that one falls, and that puts him up by 1 point. But going back to Corey Brewer, he also has a 6th sense of sniffing out steal opportunities. Very quick hands. He's averaged 1.5 steals a game over his career.
And Kevin, Corey's one of those guys that's always going to give that effort offensively and find ways to contribute there. But more importantly, he's going to give you results on the defensive side of the ball.
He has an amazing motor. It never shuts down. Well, looking back on last season, you didn't know where the Rockets would end up in terms of seeding in the playoffs. Ended up with the 2 seed because they won the Southwest Division. And as it turned out, everything worked out very well for him.
It really did, and had a divisional matchup in that first round against the Mavs. But the Rockets took care of business in that series and would advance.
And, you know, for the Rockets, they had a major gut check in the second round. Went down 3-1 against the Clippers. Came back to win the series in 7, including Game 6, when I dozed off when they were trailing by 19 in the 4th and was shocked to wake up in the morning and see they had forced the 7th game.
He hits one, then misses the second attempt from the free throw line.
And with the Rockets' last postseason, their trip to the conference finals was as far as they would go. Went out to the Warriors in 5 games. Most of them were close ones. I think most fans were pleased with how far the team went last year in spite of all the injuries.
And San Antonio has possession after the Rockets pick up 3. Once again off the mark by San Antonio. And here's Lawson. 11 points for him in that last game against Orlando. Ariza passes to Thornton. There's a screen by Modi Eunice. Shoots off the screen. And too long on the shot. Spurs trail by 4. Pass to Ginobili. Diaw, the screen. Ginobili kicks to Mills. Offline with his 3.
Hey, they got the shot they wanted off of that pick, but it just doesn't fall.
Yeah, it didn't go down, but you'll take that shot every single time, Greg. That's good offense.
Ariza no luck. San Antonio's gone just 1 of 4 from three-point range here in the first. West against Thornton. Passes to Mills. Puts up a 3. The shot's good on the assist by West.
And they've got to talk to each other on D there. Miscommunication, and now he's able to make them pay.
There's a screen by Motiejunas. Lets it go from 11. Rebounded by the Spurs. Anderson outside. He dishes it to Mills. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Ginobili with the 3. But they get it back. Anderson passes to Diaw. Mills with it. He's picked up by Ariza. The feed to Ginobili for the 3. Again, the miss by Ginobili. Houston in the lead. And here comes Lawson leading the fast break. Mills with the steal. Ginobili outside. Looking for Anderson. He gets it there. Here's West. First shot, first basket. He's out of the blocks fast.
The tenacity on that interior, just battling, bringing that effort and will for second chance points. And for David West last season, the thought was he might increase his production with Paul George out, but the opposite happened. West suffered his lowest scoring output in a decade, only 12 points per game on 47% shooting. Rough showing for the former All-Star.
Jason Terry is checked in for Ty Lawson. .139 left in the first quarter. Now Brewer, and looking at his production, he averages a little more than 7 points a game. Here's Ariza. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up. Well, Greg, getting back to West, even though his scoring was down, his playmaking was up. You were talking about that. Clark, 3.5 assists a game last season, by far the highest number of his career.
Yeah, one of the very best pros I've ever been around. He's very smart. He's tough. He's all about team. And, you know, he makes things happen. Impacts winning in a lot of ways, and those assist totals indicate that.
Now, here's Anderson. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Diaw with the screen on Terry. Here's Mills. Just 4 to shoot. Diaw dishes to Mills. Good, and it's Diaw with the assist that time. Mills has got 7. Clark, a lot of give and take between these sides early.
Kevin, how about 6 lead changes in this half already?
Yeah, and both teams look like they came to play. We should have a good one.
Now, here's Ariza. 8 points his last outing. On the wing, Thornton. The 3, and that is good. He's got 6.
And how about that for a response?
Well, it sounded as though, or at least it looked as though it sounded like, we'll give you a 3, and then we'll take it right back.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agendas.
Yeah, and it's really fun to see that kind of unselfishness. Really hard not to appreciate all the assists they've racked up.
Motiejunas kicks to Terry. The pass to Brewer. Ariza sets a screen for Brewer. And Ginobili pulls it down.
And honestly, not real happy with the shot selection on that one.
Yeah, clearly a brain fade there. He's got to be a little smarter in his choice making.
Easy to see who's going to win that race.
Yeah, early offense is often easy offense. Excellent work that time.
For San Antonio, they have been coming through at the charity stripe. They've made 7 of their 8 attempts.
Yeah, pretty good numbers on the season when you look at their free throw attempts, right around 78%.